When I say the words women in wildfire, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
I think when you say that to most people, it's an enigma, and it's a hard association, you know, because it's culturally and socially been oppressed.
Almost like patronizing in the fact that like it's a novelty that women can do it, and that aspect drives me crazy.
We've assigned operational capability according to sex. And that's just not reality.
Fire's been persecuted for a long time. And it really is a human construct that we have persecuted fire because it does hurt and it kills people and it destroys communities and it destroys significant watersheds. The only option is to think about applying fire under the right conditions in the right place to prevent that catastrophic fire that we know is coming.
Hi everyone, my name's Alicia. I don't quite have the booming voice that Renaud does, but I'll try my best to get my message across. I just want to introduce WTREX as well. We have quite a bit of different experience in our group, and I know that you all have different experience as well. And I just want to amplify those different types of experiences. So out of everyone here, if you have 20 years or more on fires, can you put your hands up? Hands up high. Hands up high. 10 years or more. 5 years or more. Great. How about 2 years or more? Woo! So I just want to take a second for us to all realize the experience in this area here that we have right now. And yeah, I'm just so proud to be working here with you all today. Let's start talking about burning, because that's why we're here.
Going into it, I knew that there was going to be a certain amount of people, but when we showed up to convoy up to the site, there was just vehicles everywhere. And I was like, oh my goodness, okay, there's way more personnel here than I expected. So that was really funny. Like instantly my head is just going into planning of how are we gonna utilize these resources. Everyone is excited to be here, excited to burn, and want to collaborate with each other. And I was like, you know what, this is gonna be totally fine.
We spent quite a bit of time talking about fields weather topography, and a lot of us really aren't used to burning in the high winds, but that's what you gotta do here in South Africa. And I think as a leader, we should all be very open to other people's experiences and problem solving, because if I tell them what they need to do, they're not learning. And so I give them direction or leader's intent, and then they get to problem solve within a group. And I think that's really where the beauty of this all really came together the other day.
Does everyone feel like they understand the plan? Awesome, thanks. Let's get going and let's start burning.
When it started out, I was overwhelmed. At first, I wasn't sure if I wanted to be there. I even told my mom the day before that I'm feeling so anxious about this. But my first day was very overwhelming, and I tried to settle in. I felt that I was out of place amongst everyone because I had a bad experience with my first fire and my first crew and being a firefighter. And I gave up on the job.
I came here when I was so uncertain about this. This is a new place, you know, I'm traveling to South Africa for the first time. I don't know what to expect from the people I am meeting for the first time. But everything changed when I got here. It got so fascinating, so exciting, and I just love that I am here right now.
Andrea's gonna stay even with whatever fire starts backing or flanking up slope, where it's not slamming the road. Once Peter hits the corner, starts rolling towards Bravo, Erica and Andrea will make the appropriate firing decisions.
Walk to the edge right there.
I think I provided a sounding board, and for the most part, I tried to keep my mouth shut and validate what she was thinking. She would have succeeded with or without me. The whole group put a lot of time and effort into pre-planning that, working on command presence. It started with her briefing. It set everybody that was there up for success.
I had Luke as my mentor, and he was a hotshot superintendent for many, many years. And just having him be in my corner was such a powerful moment. Just having someone like him that I respect so much validate my decisions and where I'm at, like what I was thinking, it was incredible. And I think that leadership and mentorship can come from anyone.
Hey Eugene, we have to keep still trying to burn this, so if you can work with Maxine to make sure there's still personnel here guarding, that'd be great. Thank you. And Peter from Alicia.
Go ahead.
Yeah, if you guys are ready, it'd be great if you could start burning towards that corner in conjunction with Andrea's burn team and meet at the bottom corner with both torches.
We're coming for you.
Right on, we'll see you at the bottom.
That was my highlight of the training, using the drip torch. I felt so fulfilled, I felt so refreshed and energized. I was so pumped when I used those equipments for the very first time. And I feel like even if we don't have them back home, it's gonna be my business to source for them anyhow, anyway.
The first time I used the drip torch, it felt unnatural. I stood back for a moment and just to take that in, the burning feeling in my chest, the smoke that hit me, my sinus opening up, and I was like, yo, this is what I want to do. This is why I became a firefighter the first time. The feeling that came in, the rush that came in. And the second time I touched the drip torch again and I started the fire, I started realizing that there's a reason why we are burning.
Fire it's expanding exponentially, and we're losing really critical ecosystems and biodiversity. So bringing women into that from a fire ecology and a fire response and a prescribed fire perspective is really important because they add value to that conversation.
Programs like this, like WTREX, are providing the opportunity to look at all different aspects of fire, understand how they're integrated, and understand how we can take that integration and move forward in the context of climate change or in the context of our social and political systems.
Our biodiversity is at significant risk until we figure out how to fund people and do the right projects in the right place that is community-based within different countries. And if we continue to persecute prescribed burning, then all we're left with is wildfire. And it can be so devastating.
We cannot continue in the same way that we have. We have to integrate prescribed burning and mechanical fuels management, and we have to compel the public to have a shared sense of responsibility around this issue.
WTREX is where we get to bring women from all over the place to be part of a team that is almost all women. And it's really super great to have men here too, but the fact that it's about the importance of working together and being on a high performance team.
Instead of bending over all day, take a knee and be efficient. And there's little tricks. I'm now barely carrying any weight of the saw, and especially I showed you those dogs, they're pulling in. All these little things add up to now you can run this thing for 14
You can
hours.
fix fire by focusing on people. It is global, it is universal, it is complex, it intersects communities and people and leadership and nature and all these things and where they butt up against each other. And I think WTREX is a whole new world for me, and it's incredibly humbling in that sense too, to just see how infinitely complex fire and people are, but how interrelated and intertwined they are.
You know, we have spent some time thinking about what's gender parity in this particular profession. I don't think we'll ever get to half and half men and half women in this business. And so gender parity to me feels like when I walk into a room and there's 10 of us and I'm the only one, okay, that's 10%. Now there's another woman, that's 20%. When a third woman comes in, 30%, now it feels like there's some kind of balance there, that that you're starting to achieve that magic number of parity between, say, 25 and 45%. You know, South Africa, 35% women in VWS, Volunteer Wildfire Services. That's pretty amazing. We really didn't want to come across that this is only just a women's event. And I think a lot of women that you talk to, they're sensitive to that they just want to be known as a firefighter. They don't want to be known as a female firefighter, woman firefighter.
There is not a role in wildfire that is not team-oriented. Like, no matter what you do, you're a cog in the wheel, whether it's instant command system, on a crew unit, suppression, prescribed fire. There is so much room, so much complexity, so much need for specialization against a backdrop of everyone needing to be generalists, that we need people from different backgrounds. And so I'd like to get to the point where we're not even talking about women in fire, we're just talking about firefighters, and no one blinks, regardless of who walks into the room.
Lacey, you're not gonna actually start the saw.
I promise I won't start it.
It's an okay procedure for yeah.
I just do this. Not a lot of control.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Even less control. Also, if you this is heavy.
So the ground start allows you to have the saw on the ground and you're stabilizing the saw with the toe of your boot. And if there's one thing that I can do in this world, it's help empower people, and that empowerment can happen on a lot of different levels. It can happen through just sort of affirming that somebody has the skills and competencies to do the work. You know, Alicia's a good example of that. She did a felling demonstration for us, and she was nervous because there's an audience and nervous because she's in a new environment. But just being able to provide space and support for her to work through those nerves and shine in what she was doing, that's a type of empowerment that's a lot different than working with somebody like Charnay, who has, had to step away from fire because of social pressures, and infusing a sense of, you know what, you can do this no matter what place you are in life, whatever your background is. And it doesn't necessarily have to have anything to do with competency levels or, education levels. It's just this sort of internal empowerment of spirit, and that can take somebody through a career.
Learning from Greg was amazing. He was very supportive. He showed me techniques that was more comfortable for my body structure, and it was very calming and telling me, it's okay, if you can't do it, take a breather, come back. And it was the first time working with a guy that was so supportive and understanding, and all the knowledge that he had to give me.
I think with Charnay, it's obvious she's driven by passion, and if someone's driven by passion, that is like a common language, and that is really easy to bring out. And so working with her, I'm just showing her my passion, and I'm, with certain people, it is just patience and demonstrating them that they can do it, and that, yeah, you're gonna make mistakes, but I make mistakes too. I make mistakes every day. And so it's been incredibly rewarding to just kind of watch that, no pun intended, but fire get relit in someone and realize they can do it.
By the time we got to the end of Division Alpha, we had a pretty tight wedge and time crunch that we had to complete. Fire was moving faster than we were moving with our torches. The two teams ended up coming together and touching torches, and everyone's cheering, and it was super awesome. It was really neat watching the wind overpower the slope, and seeing just how all of the firing bosses worked together, had good communication to stay safe in that situation, but also control the fire and utilize the wind to do so. And it was great afterwards. Being able to watch that final piece pull together was so incredible and so powerful, and I think everyone got a lot out of just seeing that fire behavior.
I came here as a naive Kenyan girl, but with a lot of fears in me, like, I don't know, how is it gonna be 2 weeks, in a new environment with new people. But they helped me overcome those fears, like, It doesn't matter where I go in this world, as long as I am a firefighter, I am just home.
We all speak fire, no matter where you're from. And I think that coming to WTREX is helping people understand what they need and what they want.
The biggest takeaway is that we need more of these opportunities like WTREX to ensure that men and women have a space to empower themselves and empower others and create a sense of shared mission.
Very few trainings have this kind of fundamental impact on people's lives. They will tell us time and time again that this was a life-changing event. Not everybody feels that way, but to think for a moment that a unique moment in time of 2 weeks has a fundamental impact on probably most, if not all, people.
WTREX, for me, is an angel sent from heaven. Because of WTREX, my life will never be the same again. Because of WTREX, the Kenyan fire departments are gonna change for the better.
That's the essence. That's the essence of WTREX. And I just absolutely love is that they didn't have that coming in before. And now when they go home, they have this memory, this experience, this opportunity to grow exponentially when they get home.
We've been able to have a lot of tough discussions, and we've also been able to produce quality end results in the field and see them learn the first time they've touched a chainsaw, the first time they've touched a drip torch. How often in your life do you get firsts? These entire last 2 weeks, there are innumerable firsts for every member, regardless of experience, and that's amazing.
Sometimes it's really easy to feel like you keep bashing your head against the wall and that things aren't changing, or you can't make a change in your organization. And people like Luke and Kelly and all the IMT have shown me that there's this opportunity to push back and to keep fighting for what we believe in and what we want to see and what firefighters deserve to have, because we work really hard for what we do. My biggest takeaway from all of this is that there's hope out there. It's easy to lose that spark, and I definitely think I was. So coming here has relit that for me.
If people are trying to kill your dream and you feel like you can't anymore, it's okay to just step back for a moment and find yourself. There are people that have the same struggle as you. There are people that have the same vision as you. So just keep moving as you keep walking up that mountain. Eventually, you will reach the top.
One of my dreams is that I am looking at a fire department in Kenya. We are not going to have to die anymore because of lack of resources. We are going to have the right knowledge, the right equipment, and all that has to do for our fire service to run efficiently. And because of my love for humanity, I feel like in the next 5 years, I'd love to own my volunteer fire department for my community.